Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Geek Shed podcast. It's been a couple of weeks since our last episode, and a lot's happened in the last couple of weeks in all sorts of sports. Football, soccer to Americans, bit of wrestling, F1, a lot has been going on. So, first of all, I'm your host, I'm Chris, and I'm also with, as usual, Tom.
Hello.
Hello. So, Tom, where do you want to start? I thought today we won't come in planned. Let's do it unscripted and just chat away.
Off the rack.
Off the rack. Off the record. So we'll start off with football.
Yep.
We're both Arsenal fans.
Yep.
We've just got off the back of a 2-0 win against Newcastle.
A very comfortable 2-0 win.
It was a very comfortable win. It should have been 3 or 4, really, in the sense that we didn't put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get more. Could have, if we would have gone out there with all attack, we would have got 3 or 4 quite easily, I think.
Yeah.
There was no threat from Newcastle at all. So I'll tell you what I want to talk about first of all. The elephant in the room, the European Super League.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about it. Every other fucker has a podcast and talking about it. Let's join them.
Let's join on that train.
What do you think about it? I'll tell you what. Okay. What's your understanding of it?
So, my understanding as it is rich owners wanting to get richer.
Yep. Pretty much what UEFA are doing already.
And using the idea of football and the so-called biggest teams going up against each other as an excuse to try and outdo the Champions League.
Yeah, it's clearly to take away from UEFA and trying to take a spotlight away and say, oh, look at us, we've got this brand new league, there's no relegation. For me, I was on board with it when I first heard about it a few years ago. I never thought it'd come to light, so I think that's why I kind of swayed more towards it, thinking, oh, it's a good idea. Yeah. They're adopting the American NFL, where they work. But with football, I don't know how that works. Because one of the things I heard is that the players won't have that determination and that hunger to win. Because no matter what happens, they're not going to take a pay cut. There's no relegation. So as soon as you kick off the ball, all you can do is win. You can't lose.
Yeah, there's no competition.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I was thinking. There's no competition. So people were thinking, wouldn't have the football matches have cold water poured on them and make it seem dull? There's only so many times you can watch City versus Barcelona and pick out a handful of decent moments.
And it'd be a glorified friendly after a while.
Exactly. The league would become so
dull
and friendly-esque.
Yeah.
It'd be boring. Like I said, I was all for it, but then I found out it was more the owners that were just doing it just purely to get more dollar. And that's where I decided, no, it's going to ruin the English game. I'll tell you what really annoyed me, though. Everyone that was... it was obviously... They come out and publicise what they wanted to do. They come out and said, right, this is the European Super League. This is what we're going to do. It's going to be a midweek league structure, secondary to those that are already in a league, to their home nations. So you're the La Liga, Premier League. Was there any Italian clubs in it?
Serie A.
Yeah, was Juventus in it?
Sorry?
Juventus was in it.
Juventus were in it, yeah.
And Serie A, for example, yeah, of course. But everyone seemed to think that those teams were leaving their leagues and from their countries. Did you notice that?
I think it was people's interpretation.
Well, that's what was stupid. It was stupid.
Just because their leagues, including ours, would have probably ended up throwing everyone out by the sound of it. Because they wasn't on board.
No, I didn't. See, I get that they wanted to throw them out as a punishment. I get that. But it was before that. It was the understanding of the way the structure of the league was going to be. A lot of people thought, oh no, what's the Premier League going to be like without the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham and City and United?
Tottenham. Don't think they're missing that much.
Well, Dolphin and the Derby.
Yeah, but the Premier League wouldn't miss them.
No. To be fair. But do you know what I mean, though? Like, why they thought that was a situation that's going to be, they're taking out the Premier League, they're going to be moving out of the Premier League and going to this new sort of league. It wasn't the case. It was just replacing the Champions League.
Yeah, but the thought process behind it was these owners and people like that would prioritise the midweek games and use the Premier League to rest the players. So
makes sense.
Competition on that side of things will be highly down.
But then again, though, if you did it like that, then the Premier League, you'll still have to avoid relegation and stuff. So,
but as a global organisation with the world's eyes on it, you want to see the best players playing.
Yeah, I suppose.
Regardless.
The Americans were involved a lot, weren't they?
If it's, for argument's sake, United versus a bottom 3 team or a bottom half, you want to see the best players playing, because this league, anyone's able to beat each other. So,
yeah, and that's the fun about the Premier League. It's the most watched league in the world.
Yeah.
And then when you take out those top 6, if they were kicked out, you've not got much left. It's bare bones. No. And nobody wants to see Crystal Palace and West Ham fight for the league title.
Well, I was just going to say it'd be Leicester's probably.
Well, yeah, Leicester will be like the new City and just take out everyone. Jesus. So we've pretty much just seen City, depending on today's result with Man United and Liverpool, depending if that goes ahead. So if you don't already know, and you probably will know by the time this podcast goes on the air, is that fans have took over the stadium due to the English, European Super League aftermath of, because they want their owners out. Where do you stand on that? Would the fans taking over a stadium like that to avoid a game being played, is that a good thing to do? Is to get your point heard, or is that going above that?
It works both sides. It's not a good look, but if you're trying to force the owners out, then you're going to have to be a little bit extreme in a way.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I mean, as we're looking at pictures now, we're seeing the police escort a lot of the crowds out the grounds. For me, I think it's a no. I think this is a way to do the protest, but stopping the game, to me, it makes United fans look bad, because they know today, if they beat Liverpool, if Liverpool beat them at Old Trafford, City win the league at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
I just think it makes it look like it's to do then.
Well,
would you have done it if they were playing Palace this weekend? Probably not.
I think they protested.
Yeah, they protested, but they wouldn't have took over the ground.
No, they wouldn't have took over the ground, I don't think. Imagine that, though. Your biggest rivals in a match later on, you're probably going to hand the other biggest rival the title if you get beat. Yeah.
I mean, I hope the game goes ahead. It was a shame if it's delayed. They're saying it's still going to happen, but it's going to be a bit late. But there's another game on, Tottenham and Sheffield, so that'll have to be delayed, I guess.
You're probably quite right there.
Broadcast rights, because they're on Sky Sports at the moment, aren't they? So they can't show 2 games at the same time. So they've caused a lot of ruckus, haven't they, really, today?
I think that was the idea behind it as well.
Yeah, of course it is. But the Glazers, I don't know how much of the time they're over in the UK. Are they over here permanently, or?
Probably as much as any other American owner, really.
Oh,
not a
Kroenke's come over once in a blue moon, don't they?
Yeah.
Kroenke out?
Yeah.
You seem unsure.
No. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You want him out?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So we're big Arsenal fans, and we're going through the same situation with Old Trafford, with the owners, the American owners. They come over here 1 game a year, if that, and in fact, at the moment, the Kroenkes have only been heard when something has been put across negatively towards them, and then they come back with a defence.
I tell you what pissed me off a little bit was Josh Kroenke, the son of Stan, who's the owner, come out at a fans forum, and he says they need to do more to speak to fans and integrate them into stuff.
Yeah, be more involved.
Yeah. That should be the norm. You shouldn't have to apologise for that. You should just be doing that.
And you shouldn't have to go to drastic circumstances like this to be heard. and to trigger that, be more involved. It's stupid. For me, the Americans, I mean, I love their sports over there. They're big pastimes. They're big sporting event. The NFL, for example, the Super Bowl is without doubt one of the biggest sporting events of the year.
Yeah.
Up there with WrestleMania, of course. I'm not sure what the viewing figures would be between the two, but I'm guessing they're very close. But yeah, for me, I just don't understand why they would want to get involved in the Premier League. I mean, I remember when it wasn't long ago when Vince McMahon was linked with Newcastle United. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Jeez, that would have been a catastrophe for Newcastle. Anyway, they just stick with Mike Ashley.
I was just going to say, are you cronky out?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I've had enough now.
Yeah.
I was cronky in the beginning because our sporting director at the time was David Dean. Yep. He was all for that change because, let's face it, our boardroom were dinosaurs. You know, some of them were fossils.
Yeah.
So I understand they wanted to do the change and they wanted to bring a younger group in with new ideas, new ways to take the club forward. We just got into a new stadium with a lot of debt at the time, so it's a no-brainer. And David Dean said, look, if we want to compete with the best, with the likes of Chelsea, at the time who had just been taken over by Abramovich, City would come a bit later on. So the only real threat was Man United and Chelsea. Yeah. United had been taken over as well by the Glazers. So they were giving money to United to buy players, and they already had a good squad anyway.
Yeah.
So they could already challenge for the title. But then David Dean was right. Yeah, we can't stay in a 45,000 seater stadium. We need to invest into a bigger place, get more fans and generate more income for the team. But it's only that income that we generate money from players. That's where Dean got it wrong. Dean thought that, we're going to get these swanky new American owners he's been in contact with, pimping out the club to him. They come over, they buy the club, and all they've done well, they've not done fuck all. They have done one major thing. They've basically pimped us for their big, brand new, swanky LA Rams stadium that cost, what was it?
$2 or $3 billion.
$2 or $3 billion. So we're basically a prostitute to the Cronkies. We are.
Well, yeah. Like, when you asked the question before, I do agree. I am cronky out, just like you. If they used to put the money where the mouth is, then things will probably be changed. But I still think it's a little bit too late now. They might as well just sell up.
Well, we had this conversation today, didn't we? With the Spotify on the Daniel Ek being involved with the Invincibles, Vieira, Bergkamp and Henry, and potentially launching a takeover bid.
That'd be so good.
It would be good, but it depends what his intentions are. If he's got the same intention of the Cronkies, he may be more involved, but if he's not got any intention of putting money into the club and investing, there's no point. But I think this could be a position where it's a win-win for fans, because if you've got Daniel Ek saying, I want this team to do well, I want us to be competitive, I'm a big fan, then the Cronkies will know that the fans are going to be the ones that even were unsure about Cronky and Cronky out, they're all going to flop over to Daniel Ek now and think, this guy could do something different and actually be involved with the club. So the Cronkies then are going to force their hand to reinvest in the team. So you'll probably see potentially more money for Arteta to buy players, but it comes with the risk of, the only thing I'll question about the money is if they are going to sell, they won't want to give us money.
No.
So the transfer window is going to be very telling, because if they don't invest, we're going to sell a couple of players, no doubt, and if we do sell, that money we probably make from the selling will be reinvested into the squad. They've always said that we can do that.
Yeah.
It's not as if they take the transfer money from us. They bleed us dry elsewhere.
But
so what I'm probably thinking is we may get Bellerin's probably going to go for around 22, 25 million euros.
I think that's quite an open secret as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's well known. So if he goes, we're going to have that money to invest back in the squad, maybe plus an extra 10, 15 million from maybe television rights.
Yeah.
So that takes to 50 mil, let's say, call it that. And then if the Kroenkes were to invest, we could see another 60, 70 mil in there. If we don't get that, they're selling.
But surely, if they're going to sell, they're not going to do it halfway through the window, unless they're negotiating.
Of course they would. There's no law on when they can take over.
Yeah, obviously not. But ideally, for us, they'd do it before that.
Before. But I don't think it's going to be... I mean, what we're now in May, it's only 3 months to the new season. Yeah. I can't see it, personally. No. So we're just actually looking at some images from today from Old Trafford, and the amount of fans on the pitch is ridiculous. How they've got in there.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of them actually really are going to be Glazers out, and most of them are probably going to oh look, we can get into Old Trafford, let's go and piss about. This is why I hate United fans. There's a guy sat there with a Boots carrier bag, clearly got a Boots meal deal, sat there on his phone, FaceTiming his mate. Oh dear, look at the state of it. So yeah, if anyone wants to see those images, go on YouTube and sure it'll be all over that. If you're a United fan, you've already seen it. But yeah, I really hope this game goes ahead. I'm looking forward to it. United Liverpool, where's your money going on that?
I think United might just edge it.
They've had some good midweek football, haven't they, United?
Yeah.
Was it 5-2?
What was that?
5-2 midweek.
6-2?
6-2?
Yeah.
That's a big ask for Roma to come back. It can be done, but it's a big ask.
It's over that now.
Well, if they get 4 at Roma's ground, that's away goals.
Yeah, but I don't see Roma scoring 4 without United scoring over there. So,
yeah, I mean, if we're going to play United in the final, if we manage to turn over the result of Villarreal, we're going to have something about us, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, covered the European Super League. We've talked about Europa. Let's talk about our beloved Arsenal now, without the boardroom stuff and what's going on behind the scenes. We just talked about the takeover and stuff. The team itself, looking at the squad, I personally think with the squad we've got, we are well underperforming.
Possibly, yeah.
You can't look at that squad and so, that squad's round about in the league table, the right place, 9th, 10th.
Well, yeah, you'd say so, especially with West Ham, like 5th, or is it something like that?
I think they're 5th.
Yeah.
With the squad they've got.
And you'd say that...
Even Leicester.
Yeah.
Leicester have not got great individual players. They've got 1 or 2, but they're a good team.
And they're not a massive squad.
No, they've not got a lot of depth.
A few injuries, and they're struggling for squad players a little bit.
But they still grind results.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. We can't even grind a result with a full team, a full squad. Yeah. That's what frustrates me a bit. We've done all right today against Newcastle, but Newcastle are nothing special.
No.
I didn't go into this game... I went into the game more or less worrying about if we do get beat, it's a humiliation.
Yeah.
So I'm all for Arteta to stay in the job. I do not...
Agreed.
A lot of fans, this is what really annoys me, a lot of fans blame the coach straight away. Well, they did that with Wenger. Wenger left, and then now they're crying for Wenger to come back. I mean, come on. Arteta is a young coach. He needs time. Look at Solskjaer, 3.5 seasons in. He's second in the league.
Yeah.
Probably a false position, in my opinion, with the way the league's gone this year. I mean, at one point, we were above City. They won the league, pretty much. So, I do think that with Arteta and Co. at the helm, I do think we'll be up there fighting for that top 4 again. But that's only going to happen if we get the investment we need.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not light years away. I think we're 3 or 4 players, not even 3 or 4 amazing players. I reckon out of 3 or 4 players we need, 2 squad to rotate and a couple of worldies.
Yeah. It always seems like that way, doesn't it? Quite often.
Yeah, it's just seemed like some of the time. But I would say that for the first time in many, many years, we've got a good spine. Yeah. Leno in goal. All right, he's not been as good as he has been at the start of the season, but he's a class keeper. Defence, take your pick. Holding, Gabriel, Mare was a bit of a surprise for us. And then in midfield, Xhaka, We'll talk about it in a moment. Partey, and then up front, Aubameyang, Lacazette.
Yeah.
Got a great spine. Questions over Aubameyang, obviously, we've not scoring as many goals as you would do normally. I think he's... What's my phone? Put that on silent. Apologies.
No one's playing Mario.
Right, that's silent. So yeah, we've got a great spine, and I think the only thing we need to work on is I'm sick of the side to side passing.
Yeah.
More forward pass and move runs, because the players we've got up front are suited to that style. We're crossing the ball in too much. That Aubameyang, you can count one hand in his career how many headed goals he scored. Lacazette, he's alright with his head, but it's not his preferred choice, I'm sure. Compared to a Giroud, if we kept Giroud, he'd be banging those goals in left, right, and centre because the crosses are not so bad.
Giroud is very underrated.
Yeah, without doubt. I was good when we sold him.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure when we first got him with the price tag that he came with. I think he was like 12 million.
Yeah.
And he came from a league that had not long just been promoted from French League 2, Montpellier. And I thought, nah, this isn't the kind of guy for us. He's not fast. I don't think he's going to be suited to the Premier League. But he bought Podolski, Wenger, and he also bought Giroud. I think it was a good decision on both parts. Shane Podolski didn't get as many opportunities. Scored some worldies though.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Also, with Podolski, a lot of people said that they'd have kept him. He should have had more minutes.
Yeah, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but for me, he was a good player towards the first 6-7 months he was with us. He was all right, but then
he's a good finisher as well.
Yeah, his left foot he's rocket of a left foot. It's a shame because his Arsenal career didn't get to high hopes as it should have done. Because he did sort of get to the point where we were playing him, but nothing was happening. Maybe that's something going on in his personal life, or maybe it's the fact that Wenger rotated a bit too much sometimes. So you leave him out for 2 or 3 games, and he comes on, and it's sort of like he's got that mental pressure to perform. But then, one thing I noticed with Wenger is sometimes you can perform, but you don't get in the game next, necessarily.
Yeah.
So I've seen that a few times with some players that should have really took the helm. For example, Walcott.
Oh yeah.
He should have been far better than he was. He'd have more bad games than he would good, and it's like just flip that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a shame. But coming back to Xhaka, I couldn't stand him for a long, long time, and he's very Marmite, isn't he?
He's what? Sorry.
He's very Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. There's no in between. I won't go as far as say hate. I'll say dislike, because for me, the thing that used to frustrate me is he's got a great left foot. He's very commanding in midfield. Leadership skills as well. He's got them.
Yeah.
His qualities are good, but he's got a couple of niggly downsides to him, like fouling around the box, too many yellow cards. He's always a danger of being sent off. He just loses his head stupid sometimes. Like you'll see him deliberately go for a challenge on someone and know he's got no chance of getting the ball. And that's the thing in the game that I would like to see him get rid of, because when he's in midfield, he's got so much energy. He doesn't really get injured. He's always going to be, in my mind, he's on the team sheet every week.
Yeah, easy.
Now, at the moment, he got a lot of stick a few months ago, didn't he? Or a month ago, people wanted him out due to a couple of mistakes in the game, and he got sent off as well. So he kind of let everyone down. But I think when you look past that, for what the guy actually does, doesn't get noted by fans, or a minority of fans notice it. I've noticed it recently. The last 12 to 24 months, I've seen a change in the way I approach Xhaka now. I think he's really good in midfield, commands it, he's reliable.
Yeah, I suppose that's one of the words you could describe. Like, he's more reliable than he's not. Obviously, there's the old little niggly mistakes, but if there's one thing, and then it's dedication, I suppose. On the pitch, he's a bit of a warrior. Like 100 miles per hour, he'll chase that ball down.
he's got a mouth on him as well, hasn't he? So
That's it. He'll work hard.
Yeah, the thing is with him as well, he can come out and say the wrong thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Like under Unai Emery when he was captain and he was subbed, I think it was, and he kind of let his feelings be noted against the fans. Frustration, I get it, but you're paid a lot of money for a club that you represent, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth. It's as simple as that. I'll say my opinion of Zach has now completely changed. You couldn't stand the guy originally, didn't know what he was for, because if he was for that, that midfield brute that was Vieira to come in, get your leg in,
he's not.
He did that.
He's not really that type of player.
He's not, no, but it gets his leg in.
Yeah,
but
it does.
It's not getting your leg in to get the ball. It's to take the player out. And as much as sometimes as fans, you do watch the game and you just say, "Oh my God, please snap him, snap that opponent player,
take him down."
Yeah, take it down. But there's a time and place to do it. But realistically, it's fickle-minded. You can't do that in a game. It's not that sort of contact sport. So if he's going for a challenge and he takes the player out but wins the ball, fair enough. But you don't often see that side to him.
No. You do see him quite a lot though, like you said, which is good. Backing orders, organising.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Telling people what they need to do.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's what I like about him more. Maybe it's because you can't really hear the crowd there now. Even with the fake crowd noise on Sky Sports, you can still hear the players sometimes. So yeah, you can sort of hear him backing orders and commanding the line. At the moment, he's in left back position. I don't know why he's there personally. If he's there purely for experience, then yeah, I suppose. But Cedric's 28, 29.
And a left foot.
And a left foot, yeah. I don't know what Cedric's done wrong. I do like Cedric, and I think he played really well in that left back position. Because even though he's right footed, he can ping across with his left, as we've seen before against Southampton when he pinged the ball to Saka and got a nice little goal. But yeah, hopefully Tierney's back, and we've also got to have Lacazette back for the Villarreal. Yeah. Probably, if not for Villarreal, definitely the final.
Easy, yeah.
If we get there.
If.
Taking that back to the Emirates, what do you reckon?
I think we could do it. That's it with our performances this season.
Can't tell us going to turn up, can you?
And we always seem to turn up when it matters. Straight away you're thinking Chelsea, that 3-1 match.
Well, was it Benfica?
Yeah, that one as well.
We turned up there, didn't we, towards the end and won the game. Yeah, see what I mean. If we come in with the aspect of we're going to play the game and attack, then yeah, we can win it comfortably. But if we come in that game where we're going to be too cautious, we're going to get punished on either the counter or for a silly mistake.
Yeah, like you said as well, for some reason we'll make one mistake and that's punished, but you could see another team make 2 or 3 and they don't get punished.
No, I said this, I didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically any other team in the league will have 10, 12 mistakes of the game and nothing will come of it other than maybe a shot at goal which will be comfortably held by a keeper or it'll go miles wide or over. With us, one mistake equals 1 goal to the opponent. Like guaranteed every game, pretty much. Yeah. It's frustrating. It's just the way the game is. It's the look of the drawing. I think with the way fate is, if you want to call it that. But I'm hoping we can get to the final. We can beat United, which is going to be a big ask because it'd be shit to get to the final twice against an English team and get beat.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I do really like Arteta. I think we should keep hold of him, keep him as manager, and basically just give him the money to go and spend on his own players.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think he's doing that, and he's in the process of doing that.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you had to get rid of 2 or 3 players now, looking at the squad, who's your first 2 or 3 to go?
2 or 3 players?
Yeah, if you had to pick now, basis on someone better that would be either linked with or that was within reasonable stance to sign.
So I'm going to flip that question a little bit. Because I'm quite interested on your opinion on Jack Grealish. See now, personally, I think we should go all out for him. If there's no other alternative for like attacking midfield, like if Odegaard goes back to Real Madrid, I think we should go for Jack Grealish. But obviously, that's down to
it comes to the price tag, doesn't it?
And the price tag. But what would your opinion be?
I like Grealish. he's the most foul player in the Premier League, isn't he?
And there's a reason for that, because he runs with it.
Yeah, because he runs, he's dangerous with the ball. I suppose he draws free kicks in good areas for, whatever potential cross.
Yeah.
Get a goal from a cross or a penalty or whatever, or free kick, shot, a goal.
Yeah.
He does obviously bring that element to him, but it's a big. I mean, he's Premier League proven as well.
Yeah.
But I'm put off by the price tag.
See, that's the only thing. I think if
realistically, how much do you reckon it's going to cost?
Realistically, you're talking 80 million.
So you reckon if we put an 80 million bid, Villa would contemplate that? Keep in mind, this is the same club that put 40 million on £1 to trigger Suarez.
No, hypothetically speaking, if any club was to put in 80 million for Jack Grealish, they'd sell. Or they'd think about it. Because when I think it was us and Manchester United or City,
Tottenham.
No, I think it was at the beginning of this season. We was talked about as Ian Grealish, and we quoted 80 million.
Names? I'm sure Tottenham was mentioned.
Tottenham were mentioned a few seasons ago. They wanted him. I think they had a bid rejected for him. It was like 40 million or something like that.
Yeah.
But if Villa wasn't having as good a season as they are now, because it's better than last season's, then
I think it would have been different if Villa would have got relegated last season.
That's it, exactly, yeah.
He's a Premier League player all day of the week.
They'd have had to sell.
How old is he?
He's not that old in terms of
24?
peak. I think he's a little bit older than that, but not much.
So if we under $1 million for him, we're going to get him a decent 5 years out of, for example, his contract.
For argument's sake, yeah, but it's the money side of things, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah, I mean, knowing Arsenal as well, they're not going to... I think they'll be too scared to spend over 50, 60 million on a player now after what happened with Pepe.
Well, I think, for example, Manchester City could do that, but I don't think their attentions will be turned to Grealish. I think they're probably going to think about a striker.
And one thing I would say is that really annoyed when I was listening... when I was watching Twitter the other day, a lot of people calling Arteta a fake Pep. I just want to say something here for those Arsenal fans that say that Pep didn't do very well in his first season at City.
No, he didn't.
I think they scraped top four.
He did, yeah.
They got into Champions League. They didn't win anything, but then the following season he spent 285 million on players. You give Arteta that same amount of money, and I guarantee you he'll be up there in that top four, if not fighting for the title, without a doubt. So for those who say fake Pep for Arteta, no, sorry, I completely disagree. That man is an up-and-coming coach. You go and put him at Barcelona or Bayern Munich, they're going places. And that's what my worry is. My worry is that there's going to be a big demand for him to be sacked, and then he's going to go somewhere else, it's going to be successful.
Yeah, hopefully not, though.
Because he won't come back. Once he's gone, he ain't going to come back. He'll have a bit of thing against us then if we sack him due to that. He needs to see out his contract.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I personally think Arteta is one of those managers that, like Wenger always did before he wrote a new contract, he would analyse his performances to see if he would take a new contract. Because there's no doubt in my mind, Wenger would not have signed a new contract at the club if he thought he wasn't the right man to take the club forward. I think Arteta would be the same. I think Arteta would get to the end of his contract, he'll analyse his performances, and then he'll look at the fans' perspective. Is it time to walk, or is it no? I can do this job, and I can re-sign, and I can my performances tell me that I can do this job.
Yeah,
he's one of those.
Absolutely, yeah.
So for me, Arteta all the way. He just needs time, and he needs money.
I agree with you. Yeah,
and absolutely. All this all this takeover talk now, I'm glad it's happening now. Because if this would have been the start of the season and serious talk had been... I mean, I know there's talk now, but it's until the bid's in, it's not serious for me. Until that Daniel Ek puts a bid in, I'm not going to say it's serious. Once he does do that, it surely must play on players' minds.
Yeah, it has to.
So I'm kind of glad we're not doing anything in the league, so now's the time to do it. And with the Europa final coming up, if we manage to beat Villarreal, I think we'll be fine. I don't think we're going to be as distracted. I wouldn't mind betting that Daniel Ek will probably wait until after the final. I'm ready to put a bid in.
Yeah, although it is rumoured that a bid is quite soon. Like, for example, a few days. Eh?
1.7 billion.
Yeah. I did hear something earlier on as well, on the Mirror, but I think it was bullshit.
Go on.
There's no quotes whatsoever.
Oh, well, it's bullshit.
Yeah, so basically the Mirror said we've been on the market up for sale for 2 years because there's a group of people that was quoted 1.7 billion from the Kroenkes, but we've not heard that.
I'll tell you a little fact about the Kroenkes. They've never sold anything they've bought in terms of sporting franchises.
Have they not?
No. So the fact that we've been on the market for 2 years is definitely bullshit. I think if we're going to go and be bought out, it's going to be a situation like this where someone just says, we're going to put in a bid. It won't be that we've been offered out to teams, offered out to billionaires. It won't be like that.
Like we were saying the other day, Daniel Ek, the Spotify owner, he's been really smart with what he's doing because he's playing this out in public to get the backing, and rightly so. So if he goes out and bids for the club, loads of people are going to want Kroenke to sell and put more pressure on. So on that side of things, you see why he's playing out in public, because there's journalists saying that with takeovers sometimes it's hush hush, and then the next day it's they've took over.
Yeah, but you'll have a little bit more of an inkling. You'll see that once more a bid's been put in and rejected, and then a rebid's got in, and then there's quiet for a few days.
Yeah.
Like you say, the next time you find out is they've sold it.
Yeah.
But there'll be more uproar. It's going to be an interesting summer.
Yeah. Obviously, no one's going to go in with like one bid and then back off. That's going to be a bid to test the resolve and just get talks going, because obviously that's the way it works, really.
Yeah, without doubt. Moving on. I think last time we did speak on our episode 3 of the Geek Shed, we did say that we wanted to look at doing a movie we've not seen before.
Yeah.
We only got 1 vote.
Did we really?
We got 1 vote.
Thank you to that one voter.
Yeah, whoever you are, you know who you are, thank you. And the result was Alien.
Alien?
Yeah, I can't remember what films I put on there. But
I do remember one of them being the Joker, and a couple of times I've thought about watching that.
Yeah, same.
Have you not watched it?
I've not watched it.
That was same.
No. I like DC, but I do prefer Marvel.
Yeah, absolutely, easy.
Even though it's not really a DC film, it's more taking the character from it.
It's more of a character from Batman. Yeah,
I've seen clips of it, but for me, anyone who tries to portray Joker, no one's better than Heath Ledger.
No, yeah,
he was something else.
That was like really, like, he took that character to another level. Like,
yeah, without doubt.
As soon as you think the Joker, you associate it with him. People might disagree and think of Jack Nicholson.
No, I mean, as retro goes, probably.
As retro, but from our point of view, I think you're right with.
Well, okay, I'll ask you this then: who's Batman to you? When you think Batman?
Oh, Christian Bale.
Really? So for me, it's Michael Keaton.
No, it's Bale. Easy.
I'm not going on performance. I'm going off like who is Batman to you?
No. I've watched the all the Batman films he was in. Yeah.
But to you,
yeah,
because Christian Bale's relatively new that role, whereas myself growing up in the 90s. Michael Keaton was Batman to me.
Absolutely.
And then Val Kilmer, and then George Clooney, which is still bizarre when you think back now. George Clooney was Batman.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
It's weird. It went really weird, Batman movies as well. They went from sort of like a dark, gothic sort of move to a very comical, stupid sort of... Like, the Val Kilmer and the George Clooney movies, they were very... I can't put my finger on the word.
Which one was Jim Carrey in as the Riddler?
That was the Val Kilmer one.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I see what you mean with a little bit of comical.
Just stupid.
Yeah, but that's his character though. So you
played that quite well. I'm not Ryan. His performance was brilliant.
Yeah.
But when you compare Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones, to the Two-Face in was it The Dark Knight Rises, or was it? We had the Batman Begins, and then
the Dark Knight Rises,
Batman,
and the Dark Knight Returns. One of them.
Yeah, I think it was that. Yeah.
Or was it just the Dark Knight, then the Dark Knight Returns?
It was definitely Dark Knight Rises, the last one. Then, so it was Dark Knight Returns. It must be on the second one. Maybe someone can comment on YouTube and correct us if we don't look it up.
So. Yeah.
But yeah, from that, those two characters, the Two Faces, obviously one was just stupid. Tommy Lee Jones's version of Two-Face was stupid. It wasn't very. It was psychotic stupid.
Yeah.
Like he was just a Looney Tune. But with the guy who played Two-Face,
it's more
serious. It's more believable.
Like,
that this guy had been pushed,
cold, and
and he actually went psychotic, but in a serious kind of way, not just laughing around. I thought Tommy Lee Jones' character Two-Face reminded me too much more of the Joker. The way he acted, the way he took that role on. I like Tommy Lee Jones, great actor, but just in that particular role, it's just a cursed movie, isn't it? I mean, Schwarzenegger in the next one.
The what?
Schwarzenegger was Mr. Freeze, one in the George Clooney Batman.
I've not seen that one.
You've not seen that one?
No.
It's worth watching.
Is it worth watching? What?
Worth watching.
As a joke? Or is it good?
Just Arnold Schwarzenegger's known for coming out with one-liners. You know, get to the job. You know, stuff like that. But one of the funniest scenes he comes out, when everyone ever mentions, it's called Batman and Robin, that one.
Right, okay.
When everyone ever mentions it to me, I always think of Mr. Freeze saying, I ought to put you in the cooler. That's all I ever think of that movie. I don't think of any other quote, just Schwarzenegger saying that. It's alright. It's for a kiddie film.
Yeah.
You know, my son would watch it. He wouldn't be bothered. But yeah, if you've not watched it, it's just worth one of those watches. Saying that, you know, you've watched all the Batman movies.
Yeah. So I made a point of watching Christian Bale ones.
How'd we get on to Batman?
We always talk about the vote.
Yeah, I just
then we spoke about Joker, and then
okay. There's the link.
Segue to Batman.
I couldn't think how we got onto it. But I was going to say, do you know who's playing the next Batman?
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. What's your opinion?
I hope he pulls it out of the bag.
I hope he does. I like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, same.
It was the first film I saw was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and it was very new, very rookie, and when he was in Twilight as well, there was certain aspects of his acting that he was questionable.
Yeah.
But I think he's grown a lot. I mean, there's a film I've seen, I'll never watch it again, with Robert Pattinson.
See, the only films I've seen him in is Twilight, the Twilight series.
Really?
Yeah.
So there is another film, I'm going to Google it, because I can't remember the name of it. But as the story goes, he's got a rich dad, and he doesn't really get on with his dad. I think his mum's dead, and he has a relationship with this girl. It looks like a sort of rom-com at the start. You know, typical guy, doesn't really have a family, meets a girl, they fall in love, they're living in New York, and they're trying to get by, they're struggling with money, they've just come out of college or whatever, and they're trying to succeed, trying to get to the top, trying to get a job and a career and everything.
Yeah.
And it has a dark turn, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'll tell you the ending because you're probably not going to watch it. But at the end, he doesn't get on with his dad. His dad's played by Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
And they don't get on. He's a big businessman on Wall Street, his dad. And I think his dad's neglected his kids for money, basically. He's a big businessman. He's wanted all the time. So he's got a little sister who's around about 10, 11, who's at school. So big brother Robert Pattinson takes care of her, and then he goes to drop her off at school, and then I think Pierce Brosnan drops his daughter off at school.
Okay.
And he's late for a meeting with Robert Pattinson because Robert Pattinson wants to speak with him. Right. So Robert Pattinson's in his office waiting for him. Goes to the secretary. I'm here to see my dad. Where is he? Go and wait in his office. He's running late. And then you just see Robert Pattinson in this office, and then it pans into the little girl in school. She just started school. The teacher's writing the date on the board.
Oh.
You know what date it's going to be?
Yeah.
September 11th.
Yeah.
So that's September 11th, 2001. And the next thing, the camera pans back to Robert Pattinson, and the camera zooms out, plane goes in, smash. He was in the Two Towers. That was horrible.
Yeah, it sounds it.
It was horrible. I'm just trying to find the name of it now. I've just got Robert Pattinson up. That was my favourite film. That was like not him being a character, like a vampire or a wizard. He's only done 38 films. Let's have a look. Around about the early 90s. Mid-90s. So Twilight. Remember Me. There we go. Okay. 2010. He did that during the Twilight movies. He did another one, Water for Elephants, which is supposed to be okay. I've not seen that. But he's not really done anything stand out. Like, you could say, how's he got the Batman movie?
Yeah.
Tenet.
So you like it?
He's in that.
Oh, no, that's the most recent film, yeah.
With, that's the most recent one.
Denzel Washington's son?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's his name now?
No, I can't remember his name. Somewhat Washington.
I'm not sure if it is, you know.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out together.
I was just thinking then, whilst you were telling me that, there was another film that I did. I think it's called The Devil All the Time. And it's a weird film. It's like him and the other co-cast member are the only two that know the story. The rest of the film is filmed, but no one around them knows what's going on.
Is that a bit of a mind boggler?
I don't know, I've not seen it, but I heard someone else on a podcast talking about it. I'm going to name drop another podcast, so the Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah.
Stevie and what's the guy's name? Jack.
Yeah.
We're talking about the movie with Robbie Knox, and apparently that was their film to select, to watch and report back on.
Okay.
And basically, Robert Pattinson, the co-star, they knew the story and the script, but everybody else, extras and whatever, they didn't know anything about it. So their actual responses to when they see them do something was legit. It wasn't acting.
Right.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued on that basis.
So these extras, is that for real? They didn't
I presume they're extras. It could be just ordinary people.
So they didn't know they'd been filmed? That movie?
No, they knew they're filming, but their actual response when something happens is their actual response because they didn't know in advance. They didn't know the
script of it. Right, okay.
So if there's an explosion or someone's getting killed, they didn't know.
Right.
So their actual response is legit. It's real. As far as it goes in Batman, from the trailers that I've seen, he looks a bit like Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3. Very emo.
It does look a bit like that.
I think that's the sort of gimmick they're going for him. Don't know why.
Yeah.
Because at first, when I first heard he's been in Batman, I thought he doesn't look like that, you know, that chiseled,
businessman,
masculine sort of business guy. Yeah. Like when you think of Bruce Wayne, I always think of the Batman cartoon where he's got a big, strong jaw. Ben Affleck is a perfect example of Bruce Wayne. Robert Pattinson for me, because Robert Pattinson, he's in his 30s now. He still looks very young. He doesn't look like he's had a hard life, but the way they've portrayed him now, this emo look, you could tell he looks sort of dark and he's twisted in his own mind and stuff from his mum and dad dying. And so I might be wrong.
So that probably suits him a little bit more.
Maybe it will. We'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean, the action scenes look pretty good from what I've seen. And Colin Farrell plays the Penguin, although you would not recognise that it was him.
Really?
Honestly, if you see a picture of Penguin in this Batman movie, you'd look at it and go, I recognise the guy, I don't know who it is. It's Colin Farrell.
Crikey. No.
He's got loads of prosthetic makeup on. Do you know the Churchill movie? Where's the Churchill? I can't remember the guy who played that. What's my memory like today? But
Gary Oldman?
Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
Didn't look like Gary Oldman.
Yeah,
all the prosthetic makeup is made to look like Churchill. Same sort of deal with Colin Farrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in it as Penguin.
Yeah, apparently he's in it. Yeah.
I've only heard little snippets of like.
I think
where
it's released 2022. Might be wrong. Because of the delays and stuff for this year.
Yeah, is it true he was actually filming in Liverpool at one point as well?
Was that not Mission Impossible?
No, pretty sure it was Batman.
It could have been. Yeah, could have been.
Could be wrong, but I heard it somewhere.
Have you watched any decent films recently?
Well, what do you regard as decent?
Oh well, go on. You sound like you've got. What have you watched last? What's the last film you watched?
I'm trying to think now. I think it was Drive with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, I can't stand Ryan Gosling.
I only put that on because, like yourself, if you've not seen a film before, give it a go.
I mean, I think some people were questioning the week when I put that Twitter vote on there for what film we should watch and talk about. It had to be a film we've never seen. When I put Alien on there, a couple of mates were like, "You never seen Alien?"
Was it one of them?
I was like, "No." So Ridley Scott, the director, has got a brother called Tony Scott, who unfortunately is no longer with us. I prefer his movies.
Right.
So Tony Scott, for example, did I think he did Top Gun. Oh. He did the NASCAR Tom Cruise movie, Days of Thunder.
Oh yeah.
He did quite a few movies, whereas you wouldn't think they're related because Ridley Scott likes to do all the sci-fi, scary sort of stuff, whereas Tony Scott likes his action. So yeah, I mean, me and my mate at work we talk about this all the time, and I always say, without a doubt, if I had to choose between the two directors and films to watch the rest of my life, Tony Scott all the way.
Yeah.
But with Ridley Scott, I've never been a fan of any of his films that I can think of, and I've never seen Alien. I mean, my dad watched it back in the day, and I've been in the room when it's been on, but I never just sat there and thought, this is amazing.
Yeah. Is it 80s?
Yeah, but Sky, I've got an Ultra HD version because it's been remastered. It looks decent.
Does it look decent?
It does. It was on not long ago, and my missus was watching it, and I got into the room and I was like, "Oh, is this the new Alien movie?" And she goes, "No, it's the one the 80s." I was like, "Nah."
So the CGI looks decent.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Looks good.
Yeah, because that's why I asked, because with it being 80s, it might look a bit plastic. But
yeah, I mean, the other reason I want to watch it as well is because the character Hicks is played by the guy in Terminator 1, who played Kyle Reese, the one who saved Sarah Connor. This is the part where you say, "I've not seen Terminator."
Yeah, I've not seen that.
You not seen Terminator?
I've only seen little snippets. Like you said, if it's been on TV, then
what the actual fuck?
I know.
So have you seen any of the Terminator movies?
Literally, I've probably seen one or two, but it's not been where I've sat there and watched it from the beginning to the end. It's probably been snippets of each.
It's been on in the background, for example.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Right, okay. I think we should watch Alien before we do the next podcast.
Okay.
And then come back and report on that.
The remastered one.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't think there's too much difference.
Not too much difference, but...
Because Ridley Scott, he perfected that industry.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's a reason why these films are still talked about today and shown the way they are. They still show them at retro cinemas still. They're big films. The reason why I probably never watched it as well. Not a massive fan of Sigourney Weaver.
I know, no.
I think that's probably because she looks like Mum. Do you know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
So when I remember I had this conversation, we were talking about Alien, and my mate started to... I think we got on the subject by Ghostbusters originally, because she's in Ghostbusters 2. Oh, she's in all of them. She's in all of them. Sigourney was in all the Ghostbusters movies. So we got on the subject, says, "Oh, have you seen Alien? She's really good in that." I'm like, "Yeah, I've never seen Alien." And then that's why I got ridiculed for never seeing Alien, because I'm a big movie buff.
Yeah.
So I got ridiculed for that. But then he started talking about how hot Sigourney Weaver is. So, yeah, naturally, for the fact that my mum looks like Sigourney Weaver, I couldn't comment. So he asked why I couldn't comment. I said, "Oh, well, because she looks like my mum." And he said, "Well, can I see a picture of your mum?" I'm like, this is one of those slippery slopes now, isn't it? So, next thing I do, I show him a picture of mum, and then before I know it, everyone in the office is rating her out of 10 and whether or not they do or not. And I went, this is exactly why I can't watch Sigourney Weaver, because you all comment and thinking she's hot. I can't think she's hot, because if she does, then I think my mum's hot, and then it just goes into a whole world of events. So yeah, a bit frustrating.
Just sounds a bit wrong.
I didn't really see her as a lead actress in... Or maybe, you know what? I could probably see Alien, and it will change my complete opinion of Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
I've only seen her in a few bits of things, and she's never been a lead. She's been a co-star. Maybe it's one of those where it'll be probably really good to watch and enjoy. So I think I'm off today and tomorrow. At one point this week, we'll watch Alien, because I think we're going to do the podcast fortnightly.
Okay.
Because I think with us being new to the game, we need to put our word out there. I don't think we can do that every week, pumping one out and trying to advertise it and work at the same time.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 kids. I'm tired. But no, I think what we'll do this week, we'll do the podcast episode 4, and then next week we'll watch the film at some point. The week after, report it. So what we'll do every week, we'll do movie club.
Yeah.
But I think Happy Hour called it the movie club.
Did you? You came up with that name.
Did I?
Well, no. I'm not saying you came up with it. You came to me with that idea of that name. So
do you know what? No, I think they called it film club.
Oh, it's still a bit too close.
It is too close. That's why I'm thinking, what should we call it?
Well, just spitball some ideas, really.
Well, we'll do it now while on the podcast. You're witnessing the name.
Even put a vote out on Twitter.
Yeah, we could do.
Put like 4 names on there, get people to pick.
Yeah, could come up with 4. It's hard to come up with 1, let alone 4.
Eh?
I can't think of 4. I can't think of 1 now.
I don't know, something like VIP movie ticket. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not obviously that exact name, but something along those lines.
We'll think of something.
Yeah.
But the fact is, it's going to remain the same. The plan is, we're going to watch Alien, report on it, and then we'll put another 4 movies on we've never seen before, and then we'll get you guys to vote, and we'll watch it, we'll talk about it again, and maybe you guys could share your thoughts, because at the moment, the podcast numbers are going down.
Yeah.
We had a great first episode, an okay second one, then the third one bombed, we had 6 views.
Yeah.
So,
it wasn't great.
Like I said, 1 listener, I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because if that one person, it could be someone that just likes to listen and in their head they're getting involved, I'll ask whoever that one listener is. If you want to get in touch, you can do. Comment on YouTube on our channel. Or you can email us, thegeekshed2021@gmail.com. So we're still learning this process of the podcasting world. We want to be successful. And it's a hobby. I'm enjoying it. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it too.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, we'll let the people in a little secret. We're called the Geek Shed. We're not actually in a shed.
No.
We're normally
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. We're in a conservatory normally, but it didn't sound good. The Geek Conservatory.
No. Or the Geek House.
And
sounds a bit naff.
Yeah. The reason why I call it the Geek Shed is because my conservatory is a shed. It's got all my tools and lawnmowers. However, we have now changed.
Tools?
Yeah.
I don't see you using tools.
Very basic handiwork. I'm not talking
basic
about
tools. A hammer and some nails.
And some screwdrivers.
Okay.
But we've converted that into more of a living area now for the wife and the kids because I'm working from home. Yeah. The living room's been a secondary office, basically. So today we are in that office. That is the living room. Sat on some nice leather sofas, chilling.
Watching TV.
And doing a podcast.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, I think we'll leave it there. It's been a pleasure once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't like offering that. If you don't want to like it, you don't want to subscribe it, you don't have to. But how else are you going to know when we're doing the next episode? Well, I'll tell you. Twitter. Simple as that. Our main game's on Twitter. I don't want to be like YouTube, where people just demand or ask for likes and shares just to make their channel more relevant.
More popular, yeah. Yeah,
for me, I like to be in the community talking to people. I've spoken to a few people who've watched the podcast, listened to the podcast, and I've got involved with people who've not heard of the podcast and chatted to them. And then they question my podcast, you do podcasts, or can you listen to mine, or give yours a go, we'll share it. Great stuff. I think that's the best way going forward, because YouTube, while we do check the comments, we've not actually had any, but while I do check it, there's not much to really get involved with.
It's a bit more difficult to, for example, to get into a conversation, it'd be a bit weird on the comment section of YouTube.
Yeah, it's harder to do that on there.
You're able to DM people and comment on this stuff also.
Exactly, yeah. But what I'll say is, if you really want to know the next episode's going to be uploaded, by all means, like and subscribe. And then, if not, follow us on Twitter. We're the Geek Shed Pod on Twitter. But we've got quite a few followers, by the way.
How many is it now?
157.
Okay.
That's decent. So, yeah, this episode's going to go out today, and I really hope you enjoy it. As I always say, if there's anything that you want us to talk more of regarding football, It could be an individual player that you want us to talk about. I know today we've not spoke about wrestling, but we wanted to keep it fresh. Not a lot's happened in the wrestling biz recently, and I thought...
It really hasn't.
No, it hasn't. And I thought, do you know what? I want all of our interests to be discussed in this podcast. And we've got a few ideas for special episodes in the future. For times of year, the summertime, Halloween, Christmas, of course. So what I'll say is, if you like the podcast and you can think of anything that would improve us, we're open to critics. If you think it's shit, tell us, why is it shit? Help us out. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening and taking the time out to the podcast. And I'm Chris, your host, and I am saying goodbye and until next time for episode 5.
And I'm Tom, thank you for listening. See you later.